I've talked about this before, but I feel like I need to talk about it again, and I want to talk about it again. The free agency, NFL, the season's over. You have a bunch of free agents. Where they're going to go, where they're not going to go. And I think today or tomorrow, the free agency market opens. I mean, no, the franchise tag market opens. Each team is allotted a certain number of franchise tags that they can franchise tag a player. Meaning you can pay them whatever the franchise tag is, but you essentially can stop a player from going somewhere at a certain price. But there's no guarantees. Like, you can get hurt and you're just paid for that season. Is it? You can get traded. It is what it is. And I've talked about this before, but I will reiterate. I absolutely hate the franchise tag. Because the franchise tag is a perfect example of how the league, the NFL, cares way more about their teams than the players. Because the franchise tag, you can say, well, what do you mean? The players get 60, 50, whatever $1 million for that year. And while, yes, that's good, we're talking about the most physically grueling sport in North American sports. You're telling me that. What do you think a player wants more? I'll ask you that. Do you think a player wants a year's worth of money and nothing else? Or do you think a player wants security? Do you think a player wants to know that a team has their back if something foreseen happens? This, you know what? This perfectly. Remember Earl Thomas and how that whole situation ended in Seattle? Earl Thomas was trying to hold out, and because they weren't trying to give him a contract, so they franchise tagged him, and he was pretty much forced to play. And he broke his leg, which the team was off the hook after that year. Remember how he left the field? What he did to the team when he left the field? If you don't know, go look it up. The franchise tag is the biggest example of, we only care about you because you are good at your job. You're one of the best at your job. Or we can't find anybody else that can do what you do or close to the production that you give. But we really don't care about you because we're not going to give you guarantees. We're not going to give you long-term security. You're only here to benefit us for now, and because you don't want to play at the price that we feel you are worth. I know there's other teams that feel that you're worth more, but because we don't want to get rid of you because you benefit us, in the same breath, we don't want to pay you what you feel you're worth. Let's hit you with that franchise tag. That's why after franchise tag, that ruins the relationship between you and the player. There are some players that don't mind it, but trust and believe nobody wants to play on a franchise tag, bro. Which brings me to T. Higgins. T. Higgins has been very vocal on wanting a long-term contract, to the point where he was holding out last year, majority of the offseason and training camp, to the point where we said we think we've seen the last of T. Higgins in a Cincinnati Bengals uniform, because they were not trying to pay him, nor were they trying to play Jamar Chase, nor were they trying to play Trey Hendrickson. And instead of letting him go, you franchise tag him. Or reports are he's likely going to be franchise tagged. which now you essentially hamper his ability to go anywhere else. So you know how good I am, but you don't want to pay me what you feel I'm worth. But you want to pay me a franchise tag, allowing me no guarantees. But what happens? But if I get hurt, it's easy to get off me. You see the issue here? This is controversial to say, but I really don't care. I don't think it's a coincidence that the two organizations, or the two companies, the NBA, the NFL, that are predominantly African American, are also the two leagues that have a very strict salary cap. This is also yet another example of how you're telling me you don't care about these players. You care more about the teams. The fact that the NFL logo is a shield instead of a player, like the NBA. You know. Yes, I think the NBA has some problems with their contracts and how some players have more power than others. I think that's an issue. But how are you going to franchise like, he's already stated, if you're not going to pay him long term, you don't want to be there. You then turn around and franchise tag him. That was the issue with Washington and Kirk Cousins for as long as they franchise tagged him, 3 times? Insane. I hate it, man. But I wish the best for these players. I really do. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.